she's straight with no rotation. Rotation of her hips is gonna make her lower back, those spinous processes, not come straight down, which is gonna make her look like she has rotated vertebra. So I have to be looking at that, make sure. I can tell just from standing here that this side is lower than this side. So bring this butt cheek up. Before you start centering, you have to position the patient all the way, because if I center right now to iliac crest, and then I go, oh man, bend your knees, her pelvis changes shape when she bends her knees, which means the center has to then change. So just FYI. So go ahead and bend your knees up just so you're comfortable. Good. You're gonna do the same thing for sacrum and SI joints. So the main thing you guys just have to realize, don't have the patient bend their knee up straight like that, because you never want thigh going over anatomy, which you guys in the field, it never happens, I just say it as a precaution. So as she then is like this, patient center right at the iliac crest, midline. Left marker, down. Iliac crest, midline, stay just like that. Collimate in side to side just to show the doctor we care, but not too tight. And then blow your breath out, hold it out. Beep, you can breathe. Okay, this is the biggest thing that you guys have got to get straight in your noggins. As she rolls towards me, everything that stays up will be the side that she is going to roll from. So this side, keep this leg straight. Keep this knee bent. And bring this arm over this shoulder. This is how you must start. If she starts out straight, both of her obliques will remain straight throughout the entire thing. Now this is the 45-degree end that you will use, hence the blue things are so it doesn't slide on your actual blue pad. So what I want you to do now is roll towards me, your hips and your shoulders. The blue sponge goes under hip and shoulder. If it goes too far under hip, your shoulder goes back. If it goes too far under shoulder, your hips go back. It must be centered to the middle of her body to maintain a perfect 45-degree. And she's good. I'm on 11 by 14 now. Left marker in the same spot. For this one, I will show you, it's an 1 to 2 inches, so I just say 1.5 inches. Makes it easy. 1.5 inches above the crest and then 2 inches in from the upside ACES. So I make an L with my left hand. That's just how I've always done it. And I put my index finger on her iliac crest and I put my thumb on her ACES. And I never move them. So 1.5 inches for me is 2 fingers up. And here is my finger on her ACES, and I go 2 inches in from her ACES, which is 4 fingers. So 1.5 inches up, which is just above my 2 fingers, from her iliac crest. 2 inches in from her ACES, which is 4 fingers for me. Her knee and shoulder stay in the exact same spot. If she drops her legs down, her pelvis rotates. If she brings her arm back down, her shoulders rotate, which takes her off of a perfect 45-degree. Notice how I didn't have to angle this. If I have to angle it, it means she's not straight on my table. How Jamie and Ashley are looking at her right now, she is still straight on the middle of my table because she was straight when doing my AP position. Okay, blow your breath out, hold it out, beat. Good, change the cassette, keep the marker in the same spot. Go ahead and roll towards me, arm down and leg down. Good, bend your right knee, right arm onto your left shoulder. Now this is about the time where the person scoots their hips and rotates for you because you just did one. But notice the first thing I did was grab her hip. I don't want her to position herself until I'm ready, because if she rotates her hips, we have to start again. So I want her hips and shoulders, which are still in a line, to rotate at the same time. So go ahead and now roll away from me towards the wall. And go ahead and rotate back. Good. Hip and shoulder on the same plane on the actual sponge. Now notice, because I didn't have her do a lot of movement, I still should be 1.5 inches above her iliac crest. I didn't have her roll onto her belly. That's when they roll like a corkscrew. Now, so truly what I do is I take her ACES and I use it and I pull it like this until I go 2 inches in front of it. I use it as a pull system. That's how I do every single time. I'll verify that I'm still 1.5 inches above the crest, which I am, which was just above my 2 fingers, which is 3 fingers. And here I'm 2 inches in front of that upside ASIS. Her body is perfectly straight. I didn't have to angle this. I didn't have to do anything. Blow your breath out, hold it out, beep. Come back in, change out your cassette. Ma'am, go ahead and lay all the way onto your left side, please. Hips, shoulders, knees, and feet on top of each other. Thank you, sir. Left marker in the same spot you had it before. I'm back to a 14 by 17. So now I'm going back to the iliac crest. And now, again, now notice they can tell you her body here is not centered to the middle of the table. So I want your whole body to slide forward on the table. Perfect. Good, good, good. Hips and shoulders has to maintain straight, just like we did for thoracic, so this isn't changing. Hips, shoulders, knees, and feet all on top of each other like you're praying. Her head, I'm going to, typically you guys saw them in the field, double their pillow just so it's more comfortable. And now make sure they're straight. Perfect. So I go all the way from thoracic, all the way down through lumbar, through their hips, just like I did for thoracic. Now I actually see if I need to have a sponge. Here's her lumbar, here's her thoracic, so it's slightly different. So you can see her spine kind of goes like that, if you look at her. So I'm going to add a little sponge right there. Underneath her waist, not her hips. Go ahead and lift up. Okay, and down. Good. Underneath waist, not hips. Okay, and make sure she stayed straight again. Perfect. Okay, now central ray goes back to iliac crest. Back to iliac crest. Mid-coronal, just a hair posterior to mid-coronal, just like thoracic. All I'm doing is following spine. Just a hair back from mid-coronal. Columnate. This is 17 length. I'm already 17, and look at how small it looks like on her. Remember, this is sod. So you can't go like this and think, oh no, I need to make sure I'm getting it. You got to make sure you're collimated just to the 17. Going to have a little bit of light field on her back side because she has no back fat. And then we're going to put that lead mat, just like you did for thoracic. Blow your breath out, hold it out, beep, you can breathe. Stay just like that, ma'am. Don't move. Change it, thank you, to a 10 by, because now we're going to do the L5S1 spot. Put my marker in the same spot for every single x-ray. This way the doctor, every single time his eye glances and he knows it's in the same spot. He doesn't have to follow and look around where it is. So now I'm on a 10 by 12. So now this is that one that we have to determine if we're going to angle the tube. So let's look at that first. So I feel the bottom iliac crest. It's right there. And I do a karate chop to my hand so you guys can see it. Okay, so here is the iliac crest here. And here's the iliac crest here. Do you see how this hand is lower than this hand? Correct. So I have to angle caudal for her. I do of how I have her positioned. So don't in your head memorize, you got to angle caudal for Zasha. How I have her, if you don't have this sponge because you guys forgot it, it's going to change the shape of her hips and pelvis, what you have right now, okay? So when you guys feel her anatomy, there is her iliac crest here, here's her other one there. So I have to angle caudal 5 degrees. I'm just going to line my tube in my bucky. Then I'm going to find my central ray. Okay, so my central ray, before I do my fast thing, because we're going to do it everybody the same way. I'm trying to figure out so you don't have that line. Okay, central ray goes 1.5 inches below the crest, 2 inches back from ASIS. So I find the crest right there, and I karate chop it. 1.5 inches down is 3 fingers, so that's right there. 2 inches back from ASIS, here's her ASIS. There's 2 inches here. So this is where I'd place the central ray. Oh, pretty close actually, right there. Okay, I'm going to collimate down. Straighten everything else out. Okay, so let's do it again. Crest, 1.5 inches down is 3 fingers down for me. ASIS is right here, 2 inches back from ASIS. I bring this finger up to where 1.5 inches is, and it meets right there. Okay? Is there any questions with that central ray? Okay, now I'm going to do my fast thing. So you guys don't think I cheat. So I don't look at her. Okay? I make a karate chop to my hand at her iliac crest. I now bring my hand into a C. This is how I do it. Doesn't mean it has to be how you do it. I bring my hand to a C. And on me, when I do this central ray, it now falls right anterior to my knuckle right here. And there it is. So now I know by me doing the central ray correctly one time, now by me doing my fast thing, I now can tell we equal the same central ray, so now I can do the fast thing on every single patient, no matter who you are. To find the central ray, not to tell me if I have to angle my tube.
Gotcha.
Okay? So Zasha, I want you to stay right there. I'm not going to change the central ray because this is the exact central ray where it needs to be. I then collimate down to a 4x4 square. Blow your breath out, hold it out, beep, you can breathe. I want everybody to come over here that has a fast way that you learned out in the field. Place your hand without a light where you think the central ray would be, and then we'll hit the light and see if you're on the money, what you learned out in the field.